night we went out to see Las Vegas. We lost ourselves in the bright lights. Now that I made that Mayday Parade joke, I can't stop thinking about Mayday Parade. I was like, come up with a bit. I was like, I can't come up with a bit.
Only Mayday.
Fucking love Mayday Parade. Oh, shit. Hey. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Fred Stewart. Welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host.
Except for that one time. It's me. It's Taylor. Hi.
Yeah, except for that one time. I'm actually the only one who's ever been on this podcast the most.
I was not feeling very good that day, so
yeah. Well,
we just had Charles take my spot.
Yeah.
It worked out.
He's he'll never replace you. But
yeah, I was waiting for that.
No, he'll never be able to replace you. No, he is far too ugly. So, and you're so pretty. Listen to this and be like, fuck you. But
see him at work on Monday.
Yeah, it's true. One final time. One final week. One
final Monday.
Yeah. I got a new job. We're getting a little off topic already. I got a new job. It's pretty cool. Can't talk about it just yet, but it's cool. News for you. Less than news, more so selling you on a property. Now, listen, I know everyone here that watches this podcast and participates on this podcast wants to buy an island.
Especially Spirit.
Yes.
She really wants an island.
Yeah. Just don't get into Hollywood. Now, a 6-acre island is a pretty good island.
It's a pretty good size island.
And it has a private beach. It's got fortifications, and it's got permission to build a luxury hotel on it. It's about 600 yards off of Plymouth, and was used as a military defense for hundreds of years, with 18th century cannons still in position. And the cannons do come with the sail. Now, it takes about 10 minutes to reach it by boat. It's a fun little property, and the reason I bring it up is because it's fucking haunted. Apparently, there's 15 ghosts, verified different ghosts.
How did they come up with that number?
They probably counted them.
Is it all right, everyone? Gather around.
Yes.
We're gonna do a head count. No tricks.
1, 1.5. None. 2. Does it matter if I have someone else's head?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. I'll just count you as 1.
But yeah, listen, if you want to go buy it, you can go out there. Go
How
out
much
and
is
go.
it?
Didn't give me a price point, but it's a 6-acre island in the water. It's probably like $20. No one likes.
I'm gonna assume it's more than $20.
Probably. You have a news story.
I do.
You're like I want to read this one, and then I was like, I've heard of that.
I couldn't find any good stories, and then I found this one. So, we're gonna talk about some sharks. You like sharks, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a big fan of sharks. What's your favorite kind of shark?
Honestly, I like a hammerhead shark.
Oh, hammerhead sharks are great.
I know that's kind of basic, but
even though they're like their eyes are like.
I love their little rectangle
like, hey
heads.
They're fucking cockeyed.
I also really like nurse sharks. I think
sharks are cute. They're fun.
Sharks are pretty cute.
I am a big fan of the great white. Love great white sharks. They're just peaceful creatures.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most sharks are not.
Except for bull sharks.
Wow.
Those guys are fucking mean.
That's why I said most.
Yeah.
Most sharks are pretty chill. They kind of just hang out.
Yeah, it's true.
We go in there.
You'll see them around. You go to coffee shops, whatever. They're in there ordering a latte.
Yeah.
And they rip the arm off the barista. But.
Oh, that's probably what's going to happen in this story. Because 13 wild Brazilian sharp-nosed sharks tested positive for cocaine.
Hey, listen, it's I'm gonna fix your camera. That's awesome. I mean, it's great. It's terrible for the sharks, but for like 8 minutes of when those sharks were alive, they were the most apex predator in the water. You gotta remember that.
They look They look kind of nervous.
Yeah, they look like little. Yeah, thank you for showing me that on the also audio platform.
You're welcome.
Go look up a Brazilian sharp-nosed shark.
Yeah.
They're little guys.
They
It's a little guy. So you gonna elaborate a little bit more? They just, or you just say sharks were on drugs.
I mean, so what's been happening is so researchers have long suggested that sea life could be impacted by drugs being dumped into the water by smugglers, which makes sense.
Yeah.
A study from the Oswaldo Cruz Foundation in Brazil has now found evidence sharks are in fact actually being affected by drugs in the ocean. So they dissected these 13 wild Brazilian sharp-nosed sharks, and then found that they had like 100 times higher than previously reported concentration of cocaine.
So these sharks like to party is what you're trying to tell me, is that they're...
Is a lot of cocaine.
Hey, Bruce. The dolphins across the bay told me where to find some cocaine. They're too busy over there huffing on pufferfish and jerking themselves off. As dolphins do.
That is what dolphins do. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. Is so drug smugglers who dump their cocaine in the ocean are actually affecting sea life, and those sharks were high as shit.
Most apex predator on the planet. It's like Cocaine Bear. That's what they made that movie off of.
Cocaine
Great.
Shark.
Yeah.
That's the sequel, actually.
I think they are making sequels.
Of Cocaine Bear?
Mhm.
Probably.
But it's not called Cocaine Bear. I think it was called like...
Cocaine Bear 2
like,
Electric
oh God,
Boogaloo?
no. They had a name. It was like methed out alligator or something like that. I guess, swear to God. I saw it. This is a giant alligator like on meth, just ripping people apart. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool idea.
I actually have never seen Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, they're fine. I just know the story. Bear finds cocaine in woods, huffs a bunch of cocaine, goes crazy, dies. Because bears can't do cocaine, no matter how much you give them. And
They can do cocaine for a little bit.
it's a treat. Now,
Just a little cocaine is a
little
treat.
cocaine as a treat is going to go a long way with your pet bear. Now, listen, everyone here that watches this podcast knows that you own a pet. You own some sort of large wildlife that you definitely have no business owning, but you're going to continue to own it, and you can give them a little cocaine as a treat.
Yeah,
Now,
just a little bit. It's fine.
we don't condone giving wild animals cocaine, allegedly.
I do.
I do too. Yeah, it's awesome. So fucking cool, dude. Oh man, give like two mountain lions facing off each other, just a little dusting.
I was thinking maybe just a little bit of PCP.
Oh, dude, now you got me hooked. Get two male lions trying to fight over the pride, right? They're massive. Give one PCP, give one cocaine.
Who wins?
We do. Those lions are gonna die very fast.
We win because we were entertained.
Actually, I win because I had a little secret. I gave one of the birds in the area some, let's say, what's that, crocodile? That's what I'm thinking of. Trying to think of the one where the guy ate that guy's face.
See, actually, I win because I gave an eagle a B2 Spirit and figured they could just drive it.
Nuh-uh.
You're lying.
I tried so hard not to laugh. Looking down the face and go, nuh-uh. Shit's so fucking funny. Anyway. Are you this episode is big series that we've been doing off and on over the course of give or take 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's time to finally dive back into it. Now, Taylor, you ready to get into it?
I'm ready.
Okay. This week, we travel to a place known for crabs, and I'm not talking about Las Vegas. A place where the waters flow with Old Bay seasoning, and the state drink of choice is milk. Welcome to Maryland.
I still don't like.
More specifically, Maryland's most haunted.
I still don't like that the state drink is milk, and that's also ours, and I still don't like it.
You've asked for it. No, you haven't. I've asked for it, and you're going to get it. Maryland's most haunted. Our one listener from Maryland's pissed right now. Or excited. Finally, they're talking about us.
Could be both.
Imagine they dance like this. Finally. They chose me.
Is that how they all...
Yeah, they're just jerking people off. Whatever. I don't know, dude.
Well, if they weren't upset, they are now. Okay.
Yeah, go have a nice big old glass of milk and go to bed, you freaks. Anyway. Before we dive into the infamous locations, it's time for us to kind of get into the early history of Maryland. More importantly, their history of witchcraft.
Oh.
So let's travel to the Atlantic Ocean the summer of 1654, just off the coast of St. Mary's City, Maryland, aboard the Charity of London, and that of their captain, Captain Bosworth, and their passenger, Mary Lee. Now, I'm not sure when or why it started aboard, but at some point, the passengers and crew aboard the Charity of London became convinced that Miss Mary Lee was a witch. The captain...
fair conclusion to come to when you're a woman in that time period.
Yes.
Obviously.
Witch.
You're not wrong.
She talk out of turn. Witch. Yeah. She showed her ankle on board the Charity of London. Witch.
She read 2 sentences.
And not well.
Witch.
I think I can. I think I can. Anyway, the captain, thinking rationally, initially refused to try Mary Lee for witchcraft. But as these things go, he eventually relented. I'm going to move my thing so I'm facing a little more forward towards you guys. Bosworth expressed interest in dropping off Miss Lee in Bermuda, but it was prevented. The winds prevented such an act from occurring.
He said, you know what we should do with this witch? We'll just send her on vacation.
Well, it's also 1654, so there was no, like, beaches or resort, you know? It's a lot of sand.
Figure it out.
Probably.
I mean,
Yes. While the winds refused to be commanded, sailors aboard the vessel seized Mary Lee and began searching her for a believed quote-unquote witch's mark, which believing it to be the mark of the devil.
it's probably just like a freckle.
Yeah, well, and when you're expecting to find something like that, you can be convinced.
Yeah.
Even you can't be convinced otherwise. You're eventually going to find what you're looking for. And even if it's, not the case. The sailors were convinced that Mary Lee had the mark of the devil, calling over Captain Bosworth to verify. According to testimonies, though, whether or not, whether under duress or not, Mary Lee admitted that she was indeed a witch. I'm going to assume it was under duress.
Probably. Right? I would be surprised.
She wasn't like putting a cigarette in her mouth. She's like, yeah, I'm a witch. It's like...
Yeah. It's like when you interrogate someone, like when an officer interrogates someone for too long, they're just like, fuck it, fine, yeah, nope, I'm a fucking witch. Mm-hmm. There you go. That what you wanted?
Also, I killed that woman.
They're not related.
Send her overboard!
Don't worry. If she drowns, she's not a witch.
Don't worry. I killed that person. But don't worry. I ate him, too. It's like, okay, pretty fucked up about the first part. Not feeling great about the second part. It's like, I don't know, dude. I just want to go home. So, I got to give some credit when credit's due, though, to Captain Bosworth, as he did everything in his power to, rid this woman, just short of killing her. Like, he did everything he could of being like, yeah, well, we're not going to try her for witchcraft. And then, like, they're like, she's got witch marks. Like, all right, we'll just leave her, dude. We'll find some place, we'll just leave her.
Be like,
and when passengers and crew amassed during urging Captain Bosworth to give an order, he flat out refused. He was like, we're not going to fucking kill her. Stop it. Get some help. Unwilling to sentence her to death, he retired to his cabin, but shortly thereafter, Mary Lee was seized by sailors and hung to death aboard the Charity of London. And, coincidentally enough, during the Revolutionary War, the Charity of London was seized by the British. So.
If only a ghost ship.
Ghost ship. Oh, ghost ships are cool. And that is the same fate as Rebecca Fowler, the only woman to be charged in court and executed legally by the state of Maryland in 1685. Later in 1712, Viol was tried in court in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm saying this correct. It's Annapolis.
Annapolis?
Annapolis.
Annapolis.
Sure, we'll say Annapolis. But thankfully, she used the foolproof method in court of the nuh-uh method, and it worked. They're like,
keep that in mind.
They're like, Virtue, you are a witch. You've always been a witch. We were able to convict you of being a witch. Look at these witnesses. Look how they writhe in pain from you.
No.
All right, let her go. It was literally, it was just like that. But she escaped with her life, thankfully. And it is here in Annapolis, Maryland, where we arrive at our first location. Located in the town of Annapolis and Truxton Park, known for its marshes, skate park, athletic courts, and otherwise normal park, is supposedly haunted and houses a dark secret. Legend has it that if you travel past the third baseball field, near a slanted tree, you will find the grave of a witch. Some say the witch was buried here in the 1800s, but escaped from her grave, never to be seen again. And on All Hallows Eve, every single year, the bodies of her victims will be seen hanging from the limbs of the tree that she was destined to die on.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, spooky, huh?
I'm
almost shocked this fucking park has 3 baseball fields. How many baseball games you guys having?
Well, I mean,
It's too many.
different high schools.
No, I don't care. Too many.
I mean, there's like,
Learn to share. All right.
I don't think that's how that works. I mean, across from the like downtown park, there's like 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole quadrant, or not quadrant. I don't know. What's the term for a group of 3?
Not a whole quadrant, 3.
3/4 of a quadrant.
That's so funny.
I don't know the term.
Left hand, right hand.
What's the term for a group of 3?
We're just gonna continue. I'm not even gonna entertain this. This is insane.
Listen, I'm just dumb and I forget words, okay?
Okay. That's great.
Trio.
Proud of you, champ. Now what's 2?
Duo.
Great. Now that we've established a spooky vibe of Maryland, we're going to travel about 46 miles north to a semi-rural town known as Kingsville, Maryland. Known for the Jerusalem Mill, a historic mill and blacksmith shop, Gunpowder Falls, and a place called the Mule Shack, where, you guessed it, you can ride mules.
Ooh.
Kingsville is the definition of a quiet, small town with a population around 4,200 people. With an area so isolated, it is interesting to find that this area has its own ghosts, as one does. Stretched over the calming Little Gunpowder Falls is the Jericho Covered Bridge. Initially erected in sometime in the 1830s, its old wooden frames were then later updated into a 2-lane concrete bridge that we see today. It's one of those stereotypical East Coast covered bridges that you see probably in films. Now, the bridge itself is pretty straightforward. It's about what you expect, as if you've seen the movie Beetlejuice. That's a great example. Beetlejuice, when the Menards, right? That's their names. Husband and wife? No. Oh my God, forgetting the name. Terrible. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Adam and Barbara, when they fall through the bridge or off the bridge, you know, it's like it's a covered bridge. It's a covered bridge. It's you don't have to really think too hard about it. But the legend of this bridge is dark. Legend says that multiple slaves were hung from the rafters inside the bridge, and that whenever the conditions are right for the haunting, you'll be met with the grisly sight of their decayed bodies still hanging. Another story is that of an apparition. That of a woman wearing old-fashioned clothing, 1800 style. She's been reported to walk into the bridge only to disappear into thin air.
Oh.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
For our next location, we're going to Chestertown, Maryland, incorporated in 1850 by Chester the Cheetah. No, 1805. It was incorporated in 1805, not 1850. See? That's why I lied. No cheetahs were involved. Chestertown is slammed full of historical locations, second only to Annapolis, Maryland, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
The town was incorporated in 1805, has a location dates back to even earlier, that of St. Paul Cemetery, which was founded sometime during the 1700s. It's old.
Yeah.
There are reported apparitions wandering through the gravestones, cold chills, and disembodied voices. That could be due to the fact that the bodies of those killed at the Battle of Calk's Field during the War of 1812 are entombed here, and due to the fact that the bodies of soldiers from both the Union and Confederate share the same fate. But most importantly, there is a bridge located at the edge of the cemetery. And it is here that we encounter a man named Tench Tilghman. Well, more so of a spirit.
Okay.
Tilghman is believed to be an officer who died fighting during the Revolutionary War. Some visitors report that when the sun goes down and the cemetery has reached its ghostly hour, you can see the lantern of Tilghman floating across the bridge, finishing his one final patrol. But Mr. Tilghman is not the only spirit known to haunt this historic cemetery. For if you travel to the northeastern corner of the cemetery, you will find a massive stone tombstone. It's more of a, it's one of those flat ones that go on across the ground.
Oh, okay.
Big ones.
Yeah.
Right? Of Miss Talia Bankhead. Now, Miss Talia Bankhead was an American actress during the golden era of Hollywood, and she starred in such films as Devil in the Deep, My Sin, and Thunder Below, which is what I'm going to have after this Taco Bell hits. So, I got him. In the most gangster move possible for her, though, she stated she had more than 5,000 lovers during her time in Hollywood, and she is the real-life inspiration of Cruella de Vil.
Oh?
Yes, mannerisms, the way she was in Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
She's like, boss bitch. Like, she was like,
okay.
very much like, she wasn't like, give me these puppies so I can skin them.
I was going to say, she didn't abduct 100 Dalmatians.
No, probably not.
101 of them.
We don't know.
102 of them, and just...
Yeah. Stop getting this lady in your animal shelters. She's like, she just was smoking those long ass cigarettes and shit, and just being like, fuck you, pay me. Like, just was just a boss bitch.
Okay.
Like,
when you said the inspiration for Cruella de Vil, I was like,
fucking 5,000 people, dude, during her time in Hollywood.
That's
in like 20 fucking plus movies, dude. She was a gangster.
She's
a gangster. She was like, do what I want when I want, bitch. You know?
I don't think
I just wanted an autograph.
I don't think she said it exactly like that, but...
Fuck you, punk. And as she died at the age of 66 from complications due to pleural double pneumonia, her last words were codeine, bourbon, in that order. And then she slipped in unconsciousness and died. So, pretty cool. Drugs, booze. That's all she wanted. But...
I mean, when you're on your deathbed, I get it.
Yeah. I'm going to be like, chocolate milk.
Steak.
Crocodile.
I don't think you want that.
I'm going to die anyway. Oh, fuck.
I don't want to deal with you on crocodile.
I'll be dead. I'm not going to turn into Killer Croc from fucking Batman. It's not how that works, actually.
You might.
It might.
You literally do not know.
I just want to inject gasoline into my skin, dude. Why are you being so weird about this?
Because you want to inject gasoline.
I'm gonna die anyways.
What happens if, like, you don't? You just don't.
No,
You get better.
No, I won't. Excuse me. Well, wow, I lost my place here. Anyway, it is here at St. Paul Cemetery that you can find her final resting place. Legend states that if you lay on the slab that covers her final resting place, you will hear the voice of Talia Bankhead calling to you from beyond the grave.
I'd do it.
Oh, yeah. I would leave her some bourbon.
Yeah.
Pretty gangster. Pretty cool.
I'll get the codeine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Is that from your illegal piracy pornography business that you were running it last week? I got out of that and I got into legal pharmaceuticals.
I've added some stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I've added some options. People wanted to spice things up.
Yeah. Kind of thing involving
codeine.
grimace. Or things that will make me grimace.
I don't have anything involving grimace.
Uh-huh.
That was someone bought that last week. I do, however, have the Hamburglar. Does that pique your interest at all?
Yeah, I'll think about it. You can just pay and you can go sit down in your seat. You think your stop is the next one?
Hey kid, you want to buy some?
Nope. Sure don't. Don't even. Hey kid, you want something fucked up? I'm 43. Hey kid, I'm older than you. Hey kid, want something fucked up? As for our next location, I could not do an episode about the most haunted place in Maryland without mentioning it. A place so haunted that when I was researching this location, the fucking Department of Transportation has an article about it.
Oh.
It's haunted. Also, I was going to do a whole thing about the Blair Witch Project. It was filmed in Maryland, but yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
But whatever. So let's go back in time to September 17th, 1862.
Okay.
Oh, God! I missed my fucking Xbox, dude. It sucks.
What do you mean there's no TikTok?
Oh, what's the Wi-Fi password? There's no Wi-Fi? You don't even know what Wi-Fi is? Oh, you have a friend named Wi-Fi? That's close enough. It's whatever.
How do I connect to him?
Probably just hold his hands and speak softly. He doesn't have any eyes or a mouth or ears.
Okay.
At least not after this. Now, we'll go back to time, September 17, 1862. The sound of 84,278 men are fighting for their lives. Gunfire, sword fighting, the sounds of carnage and the smell of iron and sulfur fill the air to become the bloodiest battle in the American Civil War. In the end, 23,100 men were either dead, wounded, or missing.
Jeez.
Inconceivable amount of numbers.
Yeah.
Welcome to Antietam. During the course of the horrific battle, Confederate Army reached a sunken road which provided some protection from the gunfire and artillery at first. It is on this sunken road that General Robert E. Lee ordered that the battle be held from there. Soldiers on both sides fired visibly and audibly non-stop as the Union Army tried to repeatedly overthrow the position, sending wave after wave and body after body. Eventually, the position was overrun and everybody in that fucking trench was killed. Everybody. Nobody's making it out of there alive. On that sunken road alone, more than 5,000 men from both the Confederate and the Union Army lay dead. It is now known as Bloody Lane.
Jeez.
When I was researching, I think I saying Antietam correct. So it might be Antietam. Listen, you don't come here from my pronunciations of shit, but you get the idea. when I was researching this, I was looking at like paintings that were done and like accounts after this, and everybody was like, it's an unconceivable amount of people. 84,000 fucking people.
Yeah.
50,000 on the U.S. side, 30-something thousand Confederate side, like fighting.
Yeah.
It's insane. Cannons are going off, fucking ripping people in half. Like,
jeez.
People getting like come up with bayonets and like sticking somebody, and then they fucking explode. Like, it is full carnage.
Yeah.
And that shit's just going off. Like, it's insane. But anyway, it's nuts. It's fucking insane. I really want to do a whole episode about like Civil War / Revolutionary ghosts, but because I find them fucking fascinating because there's so many stories.
Yeah.
But anyway, as for the sightings here, visitors to the historic battlegrounds smell gunpowder or even hear the sounds of gunfire while walking down Bloody Lane. One visitor to the battlefield reported seeing several men in Confederate uniforms walking down Bloody Lane. Thinking they were just reenactors, he paid no mind until they just fucking disappeared into the thin air. Which I'd be like, whew, that was nuts. Like, I'd get all excited.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I'd be like, what the fuck? And this is like broad daylight. Like, this isn't like them going there at night and then they're whatever.
Yeah.
This is broad daylight. They're seeing Confederate soldiers.
That's wild.
In broad daylight. That's how the fucking energy that's inside that. I mean, you gotta think about that. All that blood, all the energy and everybody from dying. 5,000 people on a fucking road.
Yeah.
Just the road. Like, not including the fields that surround it, or the 23,000 other ones fucking died. Just right there. 5,000 people. I looked it up. It's not that big. So
wild.
So when they were overrunning into Bloody Lane, they gotta think they were like, kill this dude, kill this dude, stab that fucking dude, get shot, get stabbed, get blown up, whatever. Dead dude falls on you, you're dead. Another guy steps on top of both of you. He fucking kills somebody. He gets killed. It's just like that.
Yeah.
And that just happened until everybody in there's dead. And then they're like, we won. Just I swear to God, it's nuts.
That's wild.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. More of the incredible encounters was reported by a group of school children who were visiting the site for a school trip. From Baltimore, the children reported that they heard singing coming from the fields of the battlefield. They said that it sounded like a chant or the Christmas song "Deck the Halls." Fa la 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 la.
Yeah.
Like that. The area was near the observation tower where the Irish Brigade charged the Confederates with a battle cry in Gaelic, which happens to sound a lot like the Christmas Carol.
Oh.
Yes.
Huh.
So they're hearing this. Broad daylight. Again. Another haunt location area is that of Burnside's Bridge, known then as Roarback Bridge, where General Ambrose Burnside pushed the Confederates back after many defeated attempts. Many soldiers were buried quickly in and around the bridge in unmarked graves, whether due to the fact that they could not be identified or due to the fact that there was thousands of more people to be buried. Pits.
Jeez.
Pits. You're being buried in pits.
Yeah.
Because you gotta think, like, these dudes are taking fucking cannonballs, which about the same size as that, probably bigger.
Yeah, I think cannonballs.
On the small, that's probably on the small side, and it's hitting people, fucking blowing people apart, and then they're like, oh, "I got an arm," and you just toss it in.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
Talk about a shitty job. Now.
Yeah.
It's inconceivable the amount of carnage. Yeah. So. Visitors at night to the bridge have reported seeing balls of blue light moving around the bridge, accompanied by the sounds of drums playing in cannons as they fade into the darkness.
Spooky.
Marching on to go relive the battle once again.
Ugh.
But we are far from done as we head to the Pry House and the Piper House, which still stands on the battlefield to this day. Where the report is that was thought to be one of a Confederate general's wife has been seen and heard on the stairs of the residence. Just like appearing, hearing her walk up and down. And finally, final location of the place we go to St. Paul's Episcopal Church, which was used as a Confederate hospital right after the battle.
Oh.
Reports tell of the ghostly screams of the injured and dying coming from inside the building.
Ugh.
Much like many other locations surrounding the area, most of these injured that went inside that church never recovered.
Oh, yeah.
And even more, there's even a report. There was a report of a home just west of Mount Airy that there's the floorboards of the home are stained with the blood of the men who were brought in there via either from their injuries or the Civil War surgery that was done with no antiseptics and no, knocking people out. Yeah, and they have tried to sand the floors. They have tried to use cleaners.
Yeah.
They tried to use everything, and it's stained.
That's wild.
That's how much fucking blood was in that room. So I imagine at the time, it was puddles.
Yeah.
Like sloshing around puddles of blood.
Oh, yeah.
Inside the residence.
God, Civil War surgeries make me
excited? Hungry? Oh.
We were on very different subjects.
Not really.
Descriptors.
Huh?
Makes me uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. It's very, very fucking weird.
I don't like them. Like the warden.
Taylor, my boy, you were hit by a cannonball? You lost your arm?
Yeah.
Bite on this belt while I rip the rest of the cannonball and the bones that are hanging off out of your arm.
Great.
That's what you get. And if you live,
Great.
Great. You're probably getting affected, but hey, whatever. That's how it was. It's insane.
Yeah. No, it's brutal.
Yes. For our next location, we are going to be heading to Ellicott City, Maryland, a place that has an insane number of castle theme parks, whether abandoned or active, which I thought was fucking bizarre. I counted like 3. It was weird. There was a lot for some reason, all like in the surrounding area.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's just weird that there's so many. In like one concentrated area. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. And they even have their own Enchanted Forest theme park, which is now very much abandoned and looks like a set for like Fallout. Like it's fucking. They have like the little like. Oh my God! What's the story of the man getting eaten by the whale and then he's inside the whale?
Oh, Moby Dick.
Moby is it Moby Dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moby Dick and the white whale.
Yes, I think. Yes. And they have like a little look like a little teacup ride in the water or whatever, like one of those little boats.
Yeah.
And it's shaped like a big old whale, and so it has this big old smile on it, but now it's all rotten and fucking horrifying and just sits out there. It's super cool. Anyways, getting sidetracked. Buried.
I was gonna say I can only imagine like if the Enchanted Forest near us.
Ever went abandoned?
Yeah,
like, it's already haunted.
It'd be fucking spooky because it's like.
That's what they should do in the off season. They should open for ghost hunters.
It's a very cool place.
Big brain.
But it's very spooky.
I always got uncomfortable going there as a kid. I don't know what about that place fucking freaks me out.
I want to go. 'Cause I love the Enchanted.
Yeah, it's great. It's cool. But it's fucking weird. It creeps me out. I don't know what it is.
You want to go in the haunted house with me?
Nope.
You should do it.
Nah.
It's not that spooky.
But it's actually haunted. I want to go on the cool log ride. Anyway, we're getting fucking sidetracked, dude. Buried deep in the woods of the Petapisco Valley State Park is the ruins of St. Mary's College, now affectionately known locally as Hell House. Founded in 1868, St. Mary's College was a facility dedicated to training young men on the way to become priests. But as things go, the school student body began to disappear, and once it was too much to bear, the school shut its doors in 1972. Over the years, the complex began to crumble and decay, even catching on fire on the evening of October 31st, 1997, leaving the ghostly shell that we see today. Its large stone altar is adorned with a large metal cross, and that is all we have left of the college.
Oh.
It's this fucking weird little altar thing. I'll have some photos up on the Instagram. You'll see it. It's Just this weird little like giant altar thing. There's just a fucking giant cross
Oh.
in the middle of the woods.
Spooky.
Yes. Sometime during the 1980s, rumors began to grow about the real reason for St. Mary's closing. Some people will say that one of the priests went mad one evening and killed several female students from the nearby Patapsco Female Institute, possibly due to demonic possession.
Ooh.
Yes. While I could not find no such story, one thing is for certain. The visitors to the dilapidated complex experienced some real freaky shit. Past visitors to the building have reported that you can hear the voices of former students echo among the ruins. Some reported glimpses of mysterious and fleeting figures wandering through the surrounding woods, all around you, always watching.
Oh.
But the most terrifying story about Hell House doesn't even involve a sighting or a sound. Numerous people who have visited Hell House, visited the altar in its decaying state. Yeah. They get up to it, and the only thing they feel is the sense of impending doom. Not like, oh, this place is creepy.
Yeah.
There was story after story, people going up to it, separate groups going up to it. And they would go up to it, and they'd get this feeling that, like, if you don't leave right now, you're going to die. Like, in the back of your head.
Yeah.
If you do not leave right now, you're going to die.
I know you've had that experience.
I've had that experience.
Several times.
And it usually ends up falling up with something awful happening.
I always think of the cemetery in San Diego.
Yes.
That both of us are just like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Simply no.
Yeah, El Campo Santo. Yes. Go check it out if you guys are in San Diego, California.
Probably go in the daytime, though.
We're going to be a fucking wuss. We were.
It's fine in the daytime.
That's
but
fine.
At night?
Yeah, tone shift. And as if they did not want to leave the property immediately, basically, like, they would get this feeling of impending doom that basically if they did not leave the property immediately, they would never be able to leave alive.
Yeah.
Whether Hell House was actually the site of demonic practices remains to be seen, but after looking into this place, I think it's going to be a fucking hard pass for me. I'm good. Not only that, but there's apparently a guy who lives in the woods who's like a caretaker for the altar.
Yeah.
And he is possibly on methamphetamine, and he definitely shoots shotguns at people. So, don't go out there.
I was going to say, like, I mean, I'd go, and then you said that there's a real live man who shoots at people. And I'm like, that's too much.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That's too much for me.
Yeah. It's not great.
No. Not really.
Not great.
I was like, I can handle going to, like, not up to the altar, but like just going to the area and seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I cannot, however, deal with a man shooting a shotgun at me.
No. Like,
that's too far.
Listen, I'll deal with demonic possession, but I'm not going to deal with a man with a gun.
I was going to say the demonic possession, deal with that as it comes.
Yeah.
But the man with a shotgun.
It's a bit much.
It's a lot.
Well, what about a demon with a shotgun?
I think
it's just a plot of doom. All right.
I guess.
Start playing fucking Doom soundtrack as it zooms in. Episode just ends. It's just the entire discography of Doom playing.
Oh, yeah.
4 hours long. Anyway. As for our next location, I feel like I'd be out of place, like, talking about a coastal state without mentioning a lighthouse at least once. So that's what we're going to do. So let's travel to Scotland, Maryland. Nestled between the Potomac River and Chesapeake Bay, Scotland. Chesapeake Bay, Scotland, Maryland is home to Buzzy's Corner Store, and that's about it. That's all that's out there. I looked to try to find that. I swear to God, that's it.
Oh my God.
There's a couple churches
in the whole town.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on. There's a country store. That's it.
That sounds real familiar.
Yeah. Sounds like Maryland.
Well, I was gonna say it sounds like my hometown.
Yeah.
You got one store, a Taco Bell.
You guys had a that's right. You guys had a Taco Bell.
We got a Taco Bell, and it was
My
huge.
hometown. We had the for the longest time. My hometown was our claim to fame was that we had on the census we had more horses than people. we were all pretty proud about that. No, there's more horses than people that live here. I swear to God, that was like a thing we talked about for years.
I mean, that
Fucking
makes sense.
stupid.
I feel like in my hometown there were more guns than people.
Yeah, absolutely. I know your hometown. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's the only place in Oregon where everybody drinks their weight in Coors Light every day. Yeah. Anyway, other than, like I said, it just has the Buzzy's Corner Store, and that's about it. Other than the now infamous Point Lookout Lighthouse. That's pretty much it. Built in 1830 and later upgraded and remodeled in 1833 and 1927, the Point Lookout Lighthouse was a literal light in the darkness, warning sailors that the rocks of the bay and the river were just within arm's reach. Yes. But before it was the lighthouse that we see today, it was part of St. Michael's Manor, one of 3 manors owned by Leonard Calvert, the first governor of Maryland, Maryland colony. In the 200 years leading up to the Civil War, it was a popular summer resort, complete with beach cottages, a large wharf, and the lighthouse. Now, at the time, was a little more rudimentary than what we know now. Like before because they build up, tear down. They just built it over and over again, essentially, making it better and better and better. And as the Civil War began, recreation to Point Lookout became strained, so to speak, because everybody was
in war.
Yeah, killing each other and stuff.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. What a bunch of goofballs.
I don't think that's what I would use to say that.
Well, what a bunch of silly guys.
A bunch of rapscallions.
Bunch of rapscallions. That rapscallion disemboweled the guy. And with the U.S. government needing a much-needed hospital for its sick and injured, they leased the Point Lookout Resort, and thus Hammond General Hospital was born in August of 1862. In early 1863, the authorities ordered a small number of Confederate prisoners to be confined to the hospital grounds, most being Southern Marylanders who were sympathetic to the Confederacy, which I found out while researching Antietam. That they Southern Maryland was like we're the Confederacy, and then like the North was like shut the fuck up, and then they weren't fighting, but they're just like shut the fuck up, be quiet, we're clearly on the North side, shut up. And they were fighting, and when the Confederacy came up, their plan was to sweep. They had a bunch of injured guys, and so they were like, we're gonna come up north, and we're gonna go near like Baltimore or whatever it was, or like not Baltimore, but we're gonna go up north, and we're gonna come back down through southern Maryland, because they're like, we have a bunch of people there. But what the place they went through was full of fucking Union soldiers.
Oh my god.
So they just got obliterated.
Yeah, it didn't work very well.
No, and so they had to flee back the opposite direction, exactly the same way they came. And then they got to Antietam, and then they got fucking slaughtered. So it's like, not great planning.
No.
All right.
No, not really.
So, not long after the Battle of Gettysburg, the federal government expanded the hospital grounds, but not to add more space for the injured. Oh no, they decided to build a prison dedicated to house Confederate soldiers. At one point, it was able to house up to 10,000 prisoners of war.
Jeez.
And this area of where this is at, it's like most, like other than like I guess Alcatraz, which is like in the middle of the fucking river, or like the bay, but like where this is literally like the Potomac is here. You turn around, throw a rock, and it fucking lands at Chesapeake Bay. You're on the tip. Like it's fucking miserable when it's cold. It is. The winds are crazy. I mean, it's just, you're on the water.
Yeah.
And, well, as you might expect for the time period and location, Point Lookout, it was not the best place to be. filth and decay littered the area, causing sickness and even contaminating the water wells.
Makes sense.
People were getting like sicker and sicker and sicker.
Well, when you cram 10,000 people...
Well, they didn't have 10,000 people. Well, it could hold 10,000 people.
When you can cram up to 10,000 people, I'm sure they held quite a number.
Yeah, that on top of having the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
like, that's a recipe for disaster.
yeah, it's not like a fun sleepover.
No.
Yeah, where like a fun sleepover where it's just to kill you. And they want to kill you. Escape and slit your throat in your sleep. Which, kind of a fun sleepover. But
I don't think that's
so men literally froze to death in the tents they were given as cells, slowly succumbing to hypothermia as they lay beneath their thin prison blankets. That's all they got.
Checks out.
Yeah. By the end of the war, 54,264 prisoners of war were held here, and an estimated 8,000 died trying to survive the elements. And some say their spirits never left.
Oh.
As you're probably wondering, Fred, how haunted is the Point Lookout Lighthouse? And to that I say, this place is so fucking haunted that all of the information that I have given you, and I'm going to give you about this place, comes directly from the government of Maryland. Like, government of Maryland. It's insane. Yeah, it's wild. So one of the most impressive things about this place is that internationally renowned parapsychologist Dr. Hans Halser investigated this place. It's kind of like one of the big godfathers of para research and like understanding phenomena. Halser and his team successfully recorded 24 different voices from inside the building alone, from both male and female voices singing or talking and often swearing as they do so. One comment they received was, quote, "Fire if they get too close to you," which was thought to be a reference to the number of Confederate soldiers imprisoned nearby. A female voice, which was recorded on the tower staircase, is that to believe of Anne Davis, the wife of the first keeper, who just kept speaking of her home. Kept saying, "My home." Something, my home, because that was her home. That was her home. You know, when you're a keeper of the light, you live there.
Yeah.
It's not just like, I'll deal next week. Like your job is to make sure that people know where the shore is to try to save lives.
Yeah.
So I like to imagine that her spirit and the spirits of all the Confederates and all the Union soldiers that died there are completely different planes.
Yeah.
And that she's just in her cozy little home, having a cozy little time, and then like these guys come in and they're like, "Are there any spirits here?" And then she's like, "Welcome to my home."
Welcome.
Seems like a very sweet spirit.
Yeah.
Dr. Holzer and his team not only reported that these voices, but even smells from inside the residence. They experienced a sudden cold chill creep from a room nearby, followed closely behind by the smell of rotting flesh, which left as quickly as it appeared.
Oh.
But Dr. Holzer is not the only person to experience a haunting at Point Lookout. So let me read you some of the eyewitness testimonies from the Department of Natural Resources of Maryland's website. Quote, "The incident I'm about to relate occurred on an unseasonably warm day." They're from Maryland. They're not British. Don't claim to be warm. No. All right. Just had to get that out. Unreasonably warm day during the March of 1977. I had been a park ranger at Point Lookout for only 2 months. Although mine was a new job, Point Lookout was not new to me. I've lived in my lifetime of 25 years in the Point Lookout area. I was working the evening shift. It was a weekday, and despite the beautiful warm weather, there were few visitors to the park. At about 4:30 p.m., I was on the Potomac River beachfront gathering and recording weather data when I noticed an elderly woman standing about 40 yards from me. She caught my attention because she was strangely shuffling along, looking toward her feet. She appeared to be desperately looking for something she had lost in the grass. After I watched her for about 5 minutes, I walked over to offer my assistance. My first thought was that she perhaps lost her keys. She seemed very distant, and our conversation was very brief. I only remember 3 points she made. She did not need my assistance. She lived up the beach, quote, a ways. And she asked if I knew where the gravestones were that used to be where they were standing. I remember that for some reason that I felt I was imposing on the woman and did not and not wanting to be in position. I left and walked about 300 yards east to the Chesapeake Bay shore and recorded some more data. About 5 minutes later, while I was walking back to my truck, which I left near the river, I noticed that the woman had just disappeared. It was then that I realized the adjacent parking lot was empty. Furthermore, from my vantage point since our conversation, I would have been able to see that any cars entering or leaving the area. None had. I did not conduct a search for the woman, though I often wish I had done so.
Oh.
So maybe one of the wives of the keeper just was like looking for their graves, not knowing where the fuck they're at. Just being like, God fucking damn it. I left my fucking beer sitting on that. God damn it. And he's too busy in the lighthouse. Too busy in the light. He's just over there. He's tinkering with it. I love lamp.
Ma'am, are you sure you're not married to a moth?
You know, now that you mention it, all of our kids do have wings. An antenna.
I was going to say, he's got antenna.
He's cute.
He looks like the Mothman statue in Virginia.
Cheeked up. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so let me finish the story. Excuse me. A few hours later, I asked the then park manager, Gary Sword, which is a fucking cool name.
That is a cool name.
Gary Sword. Maybe Jerry. Jerry Sword?
I don't know.
It's like Jerry. Jerry Sword? Whatever.
Is it Gerry?
Yeah.
I think might be Gary.
I don't fucking know, dude. Basically asked if he knew anything about the graveyard near the Potomac River picnic site. He wanted to know why I was asking, so I told him about the odd encounter I had with the old woman. After Mr. Sword heard my story, he told me that there had once been a graveyard somewhere near the mysterious lady had been wandering. It was the Taylor family graveyard. Spooky, huh? Its exact location is no longer known, but its former existence is well documented. Records show that one of the individuals buried in the lost graveyard is Elizabeth Taylor. Evidently, someone had come across the missing burial site and stolen her headstone. Elizabeth Taylor's grave marker was found in a local hotel by Point Lookout park manager. Some years later, Regina Hammond and I went to the site where I talked to the old woman. We searched for signs of the graveyard using metal rods to poke down the sand. Within minutes, we located a rectangular rock-like form under a foot of sand. Soon, we located several other possible gravestones laid out in rectangular rows, as one would expect. However, when we dug up a couple of these objects, we discovered that they were concrete foundations from the 1860s Civil War warehouse. The Taylor family cemetery has never been found.
Oh. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Huh.
So she's just looking for her grave.
Honestly, I'd be pretty pissed.
I like how she is pissed, though. She's like walking around looking for it, and she's like, where the fuck is this thing?
She's like, I just want to fucking know where it is.
Meanwhile, some like meth head has stolen it, and he's just like, I got this gravestone. Finding it in a motel parking lot, or inside a motel, is fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty please.
Sorry.
Yeah. Pretty weird, huh?
That is pretty weird. It's pretty spooky. And it's cool, though.
It's very cool. Thank you. That's very nice. As for another story. Okay. On several occasions, I witnessed a man running across the road through Point Lookout. That's it. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, hold on.
The sightings always took place during the day on the same section of road, and the man always crossed the road just after my truck had passed, causing me to view him in my rearview mirror. The man was always crossing in the same direction. Other rangers have experienced the same phenomena while passing in other vehicles at different times of day and different types of the year. The first time I saw the man, I immediately returned to the crossing site. The man was running, using long strides. He appeared at the edge of the road adjacent to the Point Lookout camping areas. He crossed the road and dashed into the woods on the other side, leaving park property. My first thought was that he was a trespasser fleeing the area. I examined the area, was unable to find any type of path on either side of the road or any evidence of a human or animal crossing. I did not get a close enough look at him to identify him or the intruder or describe his attire. The site of the man's crossing is very near, but not the original Confederate soldier cemetery used to bury prisoners who had died of smallpox at the nearby smallpox hospital where the sick Confederates were held. Had the man been wearing the same trek during the Civil War, he would have been running in a route taking him directly away from the smallpox hospital. Reportedly, Confederate prisoners would trick their Union guards into sending them to the hospital, and then they would attempting to escape through the same woods which I had seen the man flee. Could the figure have been the spirit of a Confederate soldier who escaped from the smallpox hospital only to die in the nearby woods, having been infected with a deadly disease, as often happened? Perhaps. Some more stories. Power outages are not all unusual at Point Lookout. Being located on a peninsula, electricity can be brought in from one direction. If those lines are interrupted, the point is left in darkness. Because of this, Point Lookout residents always keep candles and matches available. One dark and stormy night, when the power was out at the point, Gary Sword experienced something we have yet to explain. According to Mr. Sword, he lit 3 identical candles in the candle. Jesus Christ, my brain just shut off. It was a candelabrum,
Candelabra.
Not candelabra. That's not candelabra. It's like a candelabra, I assume.
I can't see.
In the living room, basically lit these 3 candles on this candelabra-like thing. Mr. Sword left the candelabra for a short time to go to the kitchen to fix dinner. A few minutes later, he heard a loud sound come from the room where he had left the candelabra unattended, which was super unsafe. Never do that. Being alone in the house, he immediately went to investigate the disturbance. The candelabra, so to speak, was as he had left it. Only now there was a marked difference in the size of candles. One had only about an inch burned. The second had nearly 4 inches burned, and the third candle, that is the hardest to explain, only about an inch of this candle remained. However, a section of the candle rested on the floor nearby. Apparently, somehow the candle had been broken. The wick on the length of the candle lying on the floor had been lit, but now was extinguished. Unexplicably, the small piece of candle in the candelabra was aflame.
Oh, weird.
So, broken off, but somehow still burning.
That's weird.
Super weird. It's weird.
Really weird.
Weird. Another story. It is said that dogs can perceive things that humans cannot. They can hear things the human ear can't, and their superior senses of smell is well known. Perhaps dogs have other senses completely alien to us, senses that we could not understand. Later, Mr. Sword moved to a property located adjacent to an old Civil War road that ran the length of Point Lookout. On several occasions, Mr. Sword's German Shepherd seemed to see, quote-unquote, someone or something traveling on the old Civil War road. Sometimes the dog would sit and watch the invisible traffic go by for a lengthy period of time. Other times, the dog would bark and lunge against its chain, as if trying to get at an intruder walking down the road, though there was never one to be seen.
Weird.
Yes. Isn't that fun?
That's pretty fun.
Yeah. You having fun?
I am having fun.
Pretty cool, huh?
It is pretty cool.
Fucking spooky, dude. I'm still thinking about fucking Antietam, dude. The bloodiest battle in Civil War.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll launch a history podcast so I can just talk with somebody about history for an hour and a half. Because you'd be like,
I'm not. I'm
yeah.
not a good person to talk about
Taylor,
history. What?
During the American Civil War, what to you is the most decisive battle? See, that's why it never worked. She looked at me like I just asked her to cut my face off. Huh? Huh?
The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Gettysburg. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Don't ask why, how. I don't got none of that. I just got that one thing.
Got that one thing. Well, It's time for us to go to our final location.
Ooh.
And for the first time in this episode, we're going to Baltimore. Well, welcome to Baltimore, Maryland. Home of the sports team. Don't know their fucking name. Their baseball
Bolts
team.
and Moors.
Okay. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
Standing at the corner of West Baltimore Street. Excuse me, I totally just skipped over a fucking sentence. Let me run that back.
Yeah.
Let's go to our final location. We're heading to Baltimore, Maryland, where we look into a hotel with a dark past. Surprise, surprise.
Ooh,
Standing at the
hotel.
corner of West Baltimore Street and North Hanover Street is the historic Lord Baltimore Hotel. The 700-roomed historic hotel has been visited by such influential and historic people as Amelia Earhart, Babe Ruth, and Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh.
Yes, it's very, very cool. They have a whole thing on their website. I was reading about all the historic people and things that they've done. Pretty neat. This is actually the last place that Babe Ruth stayed at before he died. Like, this is the last time he ever came to Baltimore. That's what he stayed at. Martin Luther King Jr. was here during during the civil rights era, and the state of the hotel was doing like a speaking of engagement there.
Yeah.
There's a whole lengthy thing about all of it. It's very, very cool.
So neat.
Very, very cool. But they were also, one thing I should also reference is during the civil rights era, where like the Supreme Court was like, or like Congress and everybody was like, yeah, states can kind of just do whatever they want, and people can do whatever they want when it comes to segregation.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, they're like, you can keep it, you can get rid of it, do whatever. Basically, being pieces of shit and being like, you know, you guys are gonna keep doing it anyway. Just keep doing it. That's basically what they were doing.
Not picking a side.
Yes, essentially. The Lord Baltimore Hotel was like, yeah, we're immediately lifting that. Like, we're gonna just open. Everybody can come in here. And that was like a historic move. They were like the first ever hotel in Baltimore to do that.
Oh,
And they're like the most grand too. Like, they're the biggest hotel.
that's so cool.
And so there's luxury hotels. So they're like, everybody come on. So it's very, very cool. Oh man, let me resettle here. But with any hotel that has been around as long as Lord Baltimore, it's bound to have some ghosts. But let's dive into the history and the spirits. The history of the Lord Baltimore Hotel, the French Resistance style hotel, was designed by William Lee Stoddart and opened its doors on December 30th of 1928. At 289 feet in height, the hotel was the tallest building in Maryland. The building is 22 stories high and features a tower with a sky parlor roof of copper that has aged in green tarnish over the years. Like I said, the hotel is noteworthy for voluntarily lifting its racially restrictive guest policies in 1958 when the House failed to pass a bill prohibiting racial segregation and public accommodations. Renovations of the hotel became necessary in 1982. If you know anything about paranormal activity, any renovations to a structure that houses death opens a portal for even more hauntings.
Yeah.
It's like punching or hitting a spiritual bee's nest.
Yeah. No,
You know,
for sure.
they're like, they're not gonna like this, and then you hit it, and then all the bees start swarming you and start biting you, and then you're like,
Huh.
why are they mad?
I don't understand.
You punched a hole through my fucking wall. Like, you know, they're just like,
Yeah.
very upset. So, yes. So, about the architect William Lee Stoddart was a well-known architect from New Jersey, credited for designing urban hotels in each United States. William Stoddart, designer of the haunted Lord Baltimore Hotel, is like prided himself for the efficient, rational designs of his hotels that reflected the enthusiasm for scientific management in the era. Basically, how best to serve guests that would lead to maximum profitability for the hotel. He aimed to capitalize on the market niche of traveling sales representatives. There's a whole lot. Basically, like, this guy wasn't a nice guy. Ended up just getting divorced, like losing his kids. Yes. Anyway, but spending his final years in New York, Stoddart died at the age of 71 from stroke. His legacy lives on in the structural genius, but one must wonder how many of historic buildings will hold the dearly departed souls that stayed and died in there. much like the Lord Baltimore.
Yeah.
So, on October 24th, 1929, it's a day for those who were alive would have been too young to, remember anything, but most of the most know the history behind it, dubbed Black Thursday. The stock market crash on the day that resulted in over 16 million shares of stock on the New York Stock Exchange be traded to investors in a single day. This panic selling lasted until October 29th the same year. Noted as the most devastating stock market crash in the history of the United States, the decline of stocks started on Thursday with the most significant sell-off shares in U.S. history. This day became known as Black Thursday and was the most onset of devastation the country would go through, namely the Great Depression. So everybody's losing their money. Yeah. It's not great. Background of the stock market crash, the Roaring '20s, was time of wealth in excess with post-World War I. Optimism for the more prosperous life and continue to grow in the industrial sector. Basically, like, everybody is fucking partying. They're like, we're alive. We killed the Germans. We're gangsters. We did it.
Yeah.
Well, stock market crash, right? Happens. Basically saying what goes up must come down is basically what they were saying. And the whole country slides into the fucking depression. Stock market crash, suicide jumpers are very common. Many accounts of suicide jumpers in the Great Crash were grossly exaggerated and fake news created by the media to make a story more interesting. That is, after all, what the media does. However, not to downplay the horrific true events, there are accounts of several notables that did take their own lives during the wake of the crash. Some of the jumpers did happen to be at the Lord Baltimore Hotel, and they were all documented. Many believe their spirits are staying in the hotel. They haunt the halls and intermingle with staffs and guests, often appearing before them.
Oh.
So, and I looked at where it's at, dude. They fucking fell directly in the path of people. Like,
oof.
Yeah, 22 stories up, and they would just climb out. Let's go. So, but their spirits are still just wandering around the hotel to this day. The most notorious and saddest accounts of ghosts that haunt the Lord Baltimore Hotel is the desperate suicidal parents and their 70-year-old daughter, Molly. The couple reportedly stayed at a luxurious Baltimore hotel the weekend after the crash, perhaps to soak in some last-minute time together before the desperation took them to the hotel's rooftop down to the ground where they died.
Jesus. Some
reports say that they did not take their daughter with them. However, reports claim they did. An account of a murder-suicide, when it comes down to it, is what it is.
Yeah.
Perhaps the parents felt their daughter was better off dead than living in the despair which many did during the Depression. Over the years, many guests claim that the little girl can be seen around the hotel, particularly the 19th floor, which is said to be where the guests had stayed prior to their deaths.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's very sad.
Yeah.
But hopefully she's just having fun in the afterlife. Maybe they think like she has like a cool little ball or something. They can just hang out.
Yeah.
Someone throw a dog off that roof. Give her a puppy. Do not.
I like that you put the disclaimer. Don't.
Yeah. Legally, that's a joke. So, another ghost is that of Molly. Molly is seen wearing a cream-colored dress and black shoes, and it says on all accounts that she's accompanied by a red ball. Maybe they can play together.
Oh.
She has been seen playing with the ball and is keen on chasing staff members and guests to the point that the 2 hotel employees resigned because of it.
Oh my God.
Yes. Quote, it is also said that the voice crying and the young girl are heard throughout the hotel. Some believe that it could be Molly, who was lost and looking for her parents. Staff believes that the 2 formally dressed figures appear dancing around the ballroom, the young couple, Molly's parents. Perhaps it's the same family that was murder-suicide.
Yeah.
I assume. So at least she does have a ball. And she likes to chase staff members until they quit, which is pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
Mom and Pop, down in the ballroom.
Yeah.
Just dancing.
Having a good time.
Like, hey, Molly, what you doing there? It's like, I made a guy quit. Like, we're proud of you, sweetheart.
It's like, listen, I thought it'd be funny. It was.
I thought it'd be funny, and it was even funnier than I imagined. Yeah.
It was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Another creepy account of an apparent haunting in the hotel is that of the elevator, which I don't fuck with elevators. I don't like them. I don't like them. This story puts me in a cold sweat. That randomly takes people to the 19th floor. Many believe the 19th floor is the most haunted spot in the hotel. Still, the doors open and there's no one there. Guests riding the elevator have experienced being touched by icy hands. The elevator stops on the 19th floor without being called. Again, when the doors open, no one's around. Well, at least there's no one to be seen. Documented calls at the reception desk from the hotel guests complaining about a little girl who has been seen and heard bouncing a ball down the hallway. Irritated guests inquire about the whereabouts of the little girl's parents, and staff has no explanation for the offer. The mysterious occurrences include a handprint of a small child on the wall in one of the penthouses that will never go away, no matter how much they fucking try. And it's as if Molly is leaving a mark to show that she is still there.
That's cute.
Several calls also come in and complaining about someone being in the room, usually a woman who appears at the foot of the bed. There's even a ghost who is a bit of a prankster and hides the remote control for the television. Many guests have complained that their TV turns on and turns off on its own. The haunted history began with the first casualty in the hotel and continues to frighten staff members and guests. Management assures that the ghosts are harmless, and if you come to visit, your stay will be luxurious. But don't count on getting it being uneventful, because you may not get a good night's sleep.
You know, you don't fuck with elevators. I would still probably take the elevator.
To the 19th floor? Yeah, dude. I'm not walking up 19 fucking story.
Like, I'm not doing that. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
I remember when we went to LA.
Yeah, dude.
And you fucking hated that elevator, but I was like, it was only 3 flights. I'm not walking up there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, like, I have no basis. I remember looking it up to see that place was haunted.
Yeah.
But like we walked inside, I was like, this place is definitely fucking haunted. Like you can just feel it.
It's the oldest hotel in Hollywood, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably fucking haunted. But also, you were just so adamant. You're like, I'm not doing that.
Not doing it. It's not
I was
happening.
like, you know, it's fine. It's the tiniest 3-person elevator. It's so little.
I didn't like it. I don't like elevators. Elevators freak me out.
And apparently it's even worse when they're tiny.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I didn't have an issue.
Listen, at some point in my life, I'm going to go into a metal box. I just don't want to die inside of one. You know?
Fair, but I don't know. Most elevators I've been in have been okay.
For now.
Is that a threat? Are you threatening me?
It might be. Well, Tay, did you have fun with Maryland's Most Haunted?
I did.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, huh?
Yeah. It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. I started researching into an episode that I was alluding to last week, maybe even the week before, and it was the week before, and I was like, oh, let's open up the lid and find out what's inside. Then I was like, that's a lot of words. I'm not reading them. And I closed it, and then I opened it back up. Then I was like, I'll listen to an audiobook about it, and I'll be able to do that. The audiobook, dude, is like 30 fucking hours long.
Oh my god.
And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's a lot of words and a lot of
I'm reading it.
talking.
Well, I'm not reading them, huh?
That's a lot of words and someone talking.
Yeah. I don't think they did it like in one sitting.
Probably not. Probably over like
Hour 26, and it was like, and then the government came in and they started doing experiments.
It's like I needed to take a break 10 hours ago.
As you've heard in the last chapter, I did use my shit bucket. But yes,
I'm sure they recorded it over like 2 weeks, but
probably.
Still, that's
Still a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Anyway.
I don't think I could listen to someone talk about one subject for that long.
Yeah, I want to do an audiobook where we'll do an H.G.O. audiobook.
Oh God.
Will you be like telling a story or something, and then I'll just come in and be like, yeah, but this thing happened, and then just be the shittiest voice actor ever. It'd be awesome. That's what I aspire to be. Now, go to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, HGOPodcast. You can follow us directly on those fucking things. You want to send us some hate mail, you can. HGOPodcast@gmail.com. If you want to send me some hate mail, you can. At I Hunt the Haunted on Instagram. Go check that out. And on Twitch. Pass off day.
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. That's all I got. At Lunar Thrill.
Lunar Thrill.
Numbers down there. And you can also follow our dog at Spirit the Turf.
Spirit the Turf.
She's dead asleep under the
Spirit the Turf. We're yay. Yeah.
Otherwise, that's all I got.
Yeah. Do you want to show Spirit's funny cone?
She's dead asleep. Like,
Oh,
dead.
okay.
Like, I touched her with my foot. Look at this.
Yeah, she's asleep.
She is so asleep. I'm not gonna be able to rouse her.
Yeah. Well, remember to stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And this place is haunted.